This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down, I'm too fly. This is my time. Ready to shine, brighter than all of the lights. Cause when it's game time, seconds away and the game's on the line. There ain't no doubt in my mind. Beating the buzzer like this is my time.
Welcome to In the Club Sports Talk and More podcast. I am your host, D. Early. I am joined by Dallas Cowboy #1 fan, T. Will.
That's me. How you doing?
And I'm also joined by the Pittsburgh Steelers #1 fan, M. Clear.
My guy, good morning to you guys. Good morning.
Good morning. Look, today we following up with content that we had from the first recording that we did. We had an interview with Caleb Clear, that's Mike's younger son. And today we are blessed to have an interview with his older son, Cameron Clear. So let's welcome Cameron to the show, y'all. Cameron, you kind of got a taste pre-show of how we do things around here. How you feeling this morning, man?
Oh, it's good. It's cool. Everything good. Just good conversation. Little reminiscent. It's all good.
Okay, we gonna start off. We're gonna let you kind of introduce yourself. Let us know. You know, I did some research and I did a little looking up. So you can just kind of give us a brief bio on Cameron Clear.
All right. My name Cam Clear. Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised. I took the career path to be a professional athlete, in which I started out at Hamilton High School. You can probably go back a little further to middle school, but started out at Hamilton, ended up at Central. So I graduated was recruited from there by just about every school in the country. Chose Tennessee. From there, my college career started and things didn't go as planned at Tennessee, which led me to taking the JUCO route. And post JUCO, I ended up signing with Texas A&M. From there, I had a 2-year run with playing tight end at Texas A&M University, and then from there it went to me becoming a pro, being a pro, everything that I had trained for. So yeah, I mean, the typical, untypical athlete journey is what I've had.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I was remembering that Caleb left his high school and also went to Central. What's up with that?
Caleb's probably a little bit different than mine. I can't. My dad probably can tell you more than I can. But from my perspective, my time at Hamilton was purely to build confidence, to see that I had an opportunity that I can play anywhere. I think Hamilton was the best situation for me to get my feet wet, so to speak. Now, transitioning from Hamilton to Central was huge because I tell my wife, I tell my former teammates, like, man, that first school I went to, it was like lean on me when I went to school. So I think that was the biggest part of my transfer and my journey, simply because I had a goal to be a professional athlete, whether that was basketball or football. And being that Hamilton was the way that it was, they weren't the best place for me. So that was, my journey or my perspective on it. Looking back on it, I think my daddy had the same idea. It's like, we got to get you in a more settled environment, more structured environment, where you're able to create the building blocks and start this recruiting journey.
Quick question. To go back to, because I noticed even with Caleb, the same common denominator was what school again? Central. So, I mean, what is it about Central overall that made you comfortable and for your next step in your path?
I mean, like I said, it was the structure, overall structure. leaving Hamilton, I had 3 choices or 3 options. My daddy gave me 3 options. He told me pick top 3 schools, and we'll sit down and look at them each one individually and make a decision based off of that. It came down to Central. I think I can't remember. I think it was Central. It was Whitehaven for sure, and I think it was White Station if I'm not mistaken.
No Treadwell?
No. No, that was long gone. Them
We
days.
wasn't even existing though, dog.
We was closed down by then.
Yeah, they had already shut us down by the time he got in high school.
Oh, so he didn't get over there and see all your plaques and.
Whoa. Hey, you know what? He got over there now, because now you got to remember, Cam was with us all the time when I was coaching over with Coach Curry. Cam was over there in a stroller, Cam been in Trentwell his whole life. He just didn't get a chance to go over there and see the high school from when he was in high school. If that makes sense.
Yeah. But I'm sort of glad you chose the Central, and not Central per se, but everybody want to go to Whitehaven. Whitehaven's always been a powerhouse, and Whitehaven was always this and that. And I'm not hating on, they got a great program over there, but I like for you to define your own self and sort of build your own journey. So I'm sort of happy, you went the route of Central and did that. So
yeah, I am too. I started, it was gonna be Whitehaven. That was predominantly because guys that I had went to middle school with, they all was hoopers. I wanted to be a hooper. These was my guys. You know what I'm saying? So Whitehaven was the front runner for the longest, just because, this is who I was comfortable with. The football program is good, so it's 2 for 1 for me.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, Coach Salisbury wasn't playing underclassmen, and I went with that part of it. So, they really made the decision for me for the most part.
Well, they have to do that when they have a lot of talent. They have to kind of, I get that too. Now, here, okay, the same question we asked Caleb too. Like, now we know your dad more so for basketball. He was a good football player too, a great quarterback at Treadwell High School, but we knew him more as basketball. So, and I saw you play basketball too. So right. Did you feel like you had a better chance by concentrating more on football, or were you better at football? Because Mike said that he was better at football than he actually was at basketball. But I'm like 6'5", about 250, 260 in high school. You could have dominated the low post in high school. So I'm just wondering why you chose football over basketball.
Because of what you just said, I could have dominated the low post in high school. That's it. I wasn't getting no taller. I had the perfect body build for a professional athlete already. It was just more about finding my niche, really what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. But that's really what deterred me, or not that I won't say deterred me. That's really what created the path for me to take the football route over basketball. Because like you said, Memphis is a basketball city. My dad is known for basketball and training the best athletes around the city. That's all we grew up watching. We grew up in the gyms. I didn't grow up on the fields like that. So it was, I think, like you said in the beginning, it's just my size was the, sealed the deal for me.
But did you play throughout high school or you?
Yeah. I played. That was my first love sport. I played all the way through my senior year. Played a little bit. I played middle school, AAU, all of that. At the time, I guess when I was in high school, we started getting kids in like Jarnell Stokes. He was 6'7", 6'8". We had Tyler Stone, 6'7", 6'8". I'm 6'6" and a half, 6'5" and a half, 6'6". We play the same position. I'm feeling the separation. I guess when I say when I speak up, I guess what I want to say is the separation in how they were growing up and I was going out. I'm seeing it side by side daily that they able to jump higher and higher every day. I'm just becoming more powerful. I can still get up with them. I can still do this and that, but it's starting to really be differentiated that I'm not a hooper.
Well, I got one quick question for you. Did you get any assists in high school?
Assists? Yeah, I got plenty of assists.
Yeah, because Mike didn't have no assists. He had about 30 points a game and no assists.
Your dad was, hey, he was allergic to passing. That's for sure. That's for sure. You know, I know the coaches always tell you, you got a 3-on-1 break, you give it to the open man.
Yeah.
He never believed in a 3-on-1-4-1. He felt like he always had the best shot. So
No, I
I'm
wish
just
I
glad
could
that
have seen. I heard a lot of stories from Mike, Tony, bunch of y'all generation guys. Tell me about how good he was. I wish I could have seen it for myself, but to have other people vouching for you really should speak for itself.
Yeah, we
and
joke.
Son, I'm
we
so
joke
glad.
about it, man.
Let me say
Yeah,
something.
We
Yeah.
joke with him,
Son, I'm
but
so glad.
hold on, Mike. Let me just say this because we joke with Mike all the time, but Mike he was a great player. He was a team player, and he won't say it in public, but I'll say it for him. The question he always raised to me was, well, who was I gonna pass it to?
So
So he don't want to.
Greg Rowe.
He don't want to say nothing bad about his teammates, but
I
Mike.
don't want to talk about my teammates, but I mean, you can't 3-on-1. Terry just he
man,
Terry
we be joking with you, man. Look, right, we be joking.
Quiet. You done had your time, sir. I'm just
I'm
about
just
to
trying to
make
give you
a quick
kudos.
point.
Go ahead.
No, just listen. All I'm saying, Terry, was I get what you saying, and part of that is true. Part of it. You can't come on a 3-on-1 break. Who I'm gonna give it to other than Chuck?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on to the next one.
Okay, well, we
I'm saying that's senior who I'm gonna give it to. Now before that, we passed it, but
we rib each other. We rib each other all the time. But like I said,
that's my guys.
we did a Hall of Fame induction show probably about 2 years ago, and your dad was already a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I think we had him, one of the top 5 track wear greats of all time over there. So that says a lot with all that talent coming out of Treadwell. So he was all that.
Yeah, I can believe it's just when you ain't seen it, it's like it's a little bit of doubt in your mind at the end of the day. It's like, oh, these your boys, they gonna vouch for you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's so many of y'all that vouch for him. It's like I got no choice but to believe it. You know?
Hey Terry, you saw it. You saw it at about 12 years old. You saw it when we had you over there beating your brains in. So you saw it. You just didn't see it when I was playing against others, but you saw it against you.
Yeah.
Until you got about 6. Hey, Daryl, until you got about 6'4", 280 and hit me with that shoulder, and I stopped playing you. But other than that, it was over with. Enough of me though. Let's look at this. Let me ask a question, man. And I think this is something that people want to probably hear about. It's your journey. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to give me a lot of credit, and I take some of it. I always tell people this, Cam, that what I'm saying, y'all could have rebelled. You and Caleb didn't have to do what y'all did, and I know it was tough, but can you explain to them, from your point of view, how tough that was trying to become a professional athlete with a father who been there, been around those people, been there, done that, that's pushing you. Because I'm gonna piggyback off of that with some of these professional athletes and some of the things that's going on today with their kids, and that I see that I didn't do with you, but had I did that, man, they'd be really, really upset. Kind of explain to them your journey and kind of what my role was, and be honest, just what my role was in that, and let them hear it from you.
I don't know. When you say tough, I feel like this is both an understatement and at the same time it's the norm that it's the way it has to be. Early mornings, late nights, working nonstop, just about every day in some type of way. We in the gym, we in the pool, we on the field, we on the hill, we on the at Halley Stadium on the tracks, on the stadium stairs. Tough is an understatement. I think I remember Coach Curry a little bit and how he used to coach his teams and how hard it was. So I kind of already felt like this was the only way it's really supposed to be. Anything else, it's like you're a loser. You're not, you're gonna end up losing whatever you're preparing for if you're not training this type of way. The mindset, this is what I'm learning over the course of my career. The mindset that you got to be in is what really gonna separate you from, even feeling how tough it is. It became so callous to me that I'm training like this nonstop every day. So it's really not hard no more. It's not tough. This is just the process. Overall, I think looking back on it, that's kind of the state of being you have to be in to become a professional athlete. You got a specific question in regards to their part of the journey? Because some of the guys I'm training right now, they got no clue what being a dog is. They got no clue what really hard workouts supposed to look like, feel like, be like. So I'm at a point where I'm trying to bridge the gap where I know the way I was trained, I know the way these kids, that I'm coaching can or can't relate, and I'm still trying to find a balance. But as far as how I grew up, I feel like that's the only way you had to be to make it.
Okay, from what I'm hearing, you didn't regret it at all. Because because sometimes, like with me, it was impossible for me to train my daughter. It was impossible because just like Mike was, I was kind of tough, and I was like, my thing was, I'd rather you go through the drills slow and do it right than to go through it fast and do it wrong.
Right.
Because I feel like repetition is what makes you better. And we never could separate, well, I could, but she couldn't. We could never separate training or coaching with dad.
Right.
We get through training, she's still mad. I'm talking about, hey, where you want to go to eat? Just take me home. She didn't want to go to McDonald's. She didn't want to go nowhere. She take me home. Right. So it seems like you didn't have that problem with your dad.
Not necessarily. I don't think so. I think my issue with my dad and training and coaching me came to game days. I think that's where I was the most. I used to tell my mama, tell that man stay at home today. Tell him don't come.
Okay, and explain it. Explain it.
Well, I think predominantly because he's so passionate in the process, he's so passionate in understanding the game and things to be played the right way, he can't control it on the sideline sometimes. Now, this was I want to say probably middle school, because he kind of toned it down a whole lot as I got into high school.
Hey,
yeah, that middle school years, it was like, man, he on me about everything. That was the only time where it's like, I don't want to hear none of that. I can deal with it training because I done figured out how to tune it out the right way to get better. But on game days, it's like, I don't want to hear him on the sideline. I don't want to, have to go through that throughout the game. And then as soon as we get in the car, I got to hear it all over again. So I think that's probably the only really real time I felt the father-son disconnect when it comes to coaching and training. But outside of that, like I said, it was this how it got to be to make it. You got no other. You really got no other story to look at. No other person to kind of really mimic on how to do it. So it's like I gotta trust that he know what he telling me, and I'm just all in.
I think that's gonna go with what I was just about to ask Mike. Mike, now your perspective from that, as being a former athlete, going to college and playing, and even after that, being around a lot of pro athletes. Looking back, would you do anything different, or you think what you did was probably the best way to do
it? There are several things I probably do different, but I'm gonna piggyback on what Cam just said. He didn't know that his message got through to his mom. The reason when he got to high school, you heard him say, well, when high school, he was a little more hands off. That's because you said something earlier that I had to learn, which was my wife had to tell me, dude can't separate dad from coach. He can't separate that. You know what I'm saying? She had to get me to see it because I'm in it. Like, I understand what you're saying. This is what he got to do to get to this level. Hell, we done got chucking all these folks to this level. So there's no other way to do this. That's my mindset. But the way she brought it was, okay, this how she came to me, Daryl, and it kind of threw me out. I kind of got pissed off until I figured out where she was going. She came to me one day. She go, well, let me ask you a question. When Cam do something at home, what's your first reaction? If he do something like don't take the garbage out or don't do what you ask him to do. So I go, well, I'm gonna get on it. What do you think I'm finna do? So she's like, okay. Well, when he at school and he don't do what he supposed to do at school, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, something go wrong in the classroom or whatever. What you do? I mean, this some kind of fucking trick. Is this some kind of trick question or something? Why is you asking me these questions? I said, man, I'm finna get on him. What do you know I'm finna do? Okay, well, when he in football and he out there screwing up and doing this, that, and another, what's the first thing you do? I said, man, these 21 questions, what is you asking me? So basically, he was saying he can't separate you being dad and you being coach. So it goes back to what you said about Diana. You know what I'm saying? They still think we being hard on them after the fact. You know, we could be moved on, but he's still thinking, man, my dad's still on me because I ain't take shoes. I ain't take the garbage out. Well, man, I ain't even thought no more about that. But I'm not thinking he ain't thought no more about that, if that makes sense. Yeah. So if I had to change anything, it's probably how I would look at the training. I wouldn't change the training format, but I probably would bag up a little bit, give him a little bit more space, more time to digest it. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I wouldn't change. As far as the training itself and all that, what we did, I would never change that. No.
Okay.
What you say, Ted? But what that lets me know is we already, me and Terry already kind of figured it out that mom was the brains of the operation.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to bring up. You know, your mom was an All-American in her own right, and you know, being an athlete as well. But I got a two-part question for you, and part of it is a personal thing to me because I know you was an All-American. All the colleges wanted you. Was my favorite college football team one of the ones? I just want to. It just give me tingles if you say yes. Yeah. My favorite college team is Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Fighting Irish, man. That's my college team. Yeah. And so they were one of the ones.
Not in my top five.
No, not in your top five. But I'm just saying they was after you aggressively too. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, you gotta be crazy not to at least consider it.
Okay.
I think I can't remember if it was Notre Dame or it was another school up there. They came in and sat down in my head coach football office, and I just went in. I don't know. It just didn't feel like that was Notre Dame.
Oh,
that was Notre Dame. They came in late. They came in right behind Alabama.
Yeah, they came in, you know, towards the after I'm already got all the hype behind me and you know it's on the up on the incline. I just wasn't interested. It was so far away. I think because they got to me too late, I didn't even have a chance to grow the interest.
Okay. And the second part of my question sort of plays into what you just said. It was too far away. Was there any option? And I know I don't want to call us minute versus the top programs, but staying home at the University of Memphis, was that ever an option?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Now that's surprising. That's the reason I wanted to ask that. I'm like, man, you got the biggest of the biggest that want you. Why would you want to? And I'm not trying to minimize.
You got to understand. I had went on tours, or I call them tours now, but I went across the country to all these camps and college camps. I'm killing everybody. So now in my mind, it's like it don't really matter where I go because I can kill whoever in front of me. So I think that's where Memphis came to play. It was like, oh, I can do this, you know, no matter what I got on, no matter what school I'm at, no matter who in front of me, you know, I can make it look like I'm still phenom caliber athlete. And you know, I think, you know,
No, I'm not doubting that you would have been great wherever you went. I was just saying about Memphis being an option by being a University of Memphis versus these big time schools. Was it ever an option for you to sit up there and say, I possibly may consider staying home for the University of Memphis?
Yeah, you got to. It's where I try to do all my training. I know everybody here. My mama went to the University of Memphis, so it was I can't not consider it. You think about it like my situation, like a kid in a candy store. I had over 40-some offers. I can choose to go anywhere.
Did Memphis make the top 5? Did Memphis make the top 5?
Yeah.
Oh, no, hey Daryl, come on, do the hand clap. Come on, man.
I'm gonna say this.
Let me say something to you right quick. Let me say something about that Memphis deal, man. And this is honest God truth. It's kind of crazy you said that. Memphis we really wanted Memphis to recruit us. Like we really wanted Memphis to come in and recruit us. The problem was at the time they had just got Coach Porter, and Coach Porter was scared of Cam. He literally didn't know how to come out to Cam because one, he knew his dad, he knew his mom, so he knew he couldn't come out there with, say, the facilities or the conference, or he just didn't know how to come at us. Instead of coming at us, man, took that man 6 months before that man came at us.
Right. I had my top 5 already picked out. I was waiting for them to offer. So I got Memphis in the top 5. I ain't heard from her.
Are you serious?
Yes. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people would say, man, that man ain't never picked no Memphis. No, we had Memphis in there because listen, let me say this. This is what people didn't understand. One thing Memphis did back in the day, Memphis put DBs, receivers, tight ends, they going to the league from Memphis every year. Look at it now. Even now, they still putting DBs, tight end, and receivers in the league. So you had to keep, and you from Memphis, man. You cannot keep Memphis off your list. You this big time. That's crazy.
You know what? Let me say this, and I'm gonna try to say this in the nicest way possible. You know, for the University of Memphis, if you're looking at this show, or if you ever look at this in the future, whoever was in your PR department back during those times did a terrible job. You'd never let a player of Caleb's caliber scare you, deter you. You should be the first one on his doorstep, especially when he's in his hometown. You never do that. And this is just something, in the future, when you get somebody of his caliber to come out, don't make those same mistakes again where he wanted you guys to reach out to him, but you waited till he picked his top 5 before you decide to reach out. That's just terrible. That's terrible PR move. That just bothers me.
And it was crazy too, Terry. This was crazy, man. We fired Auburn to go to the visit. We took Auburn off the list to go to the visit for his last visit. So we took a SEC team, which just came off the national championship with Cam Newton there. We took them flat foot off the thing just to put Memphis on there, man. It's crazy. But a lot of people,
that was the not so attractive man.
Yeah,
saw the attractive woman and thought he didn't have a chance. That's all it was.
You're right there.
So we're gonna take look.
You gotta keep in mind too, they trying to rebuild programs and all of that. It's like we can't spend too much time on a 4-5-star athlete. We got to really lock in on these, who we can get. So they could have been looking at it from their perspective, but just hate that it went down the way that it did.
Well, that's nice of you, Cam, for saying that, but I don't want to hear it. That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's crazy.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna discuss why you made the decision to go to the University of Tennessee. So we'll be right back.
Are you in need of a trusted notary to legalize your important documents? Look no further than Terry Williams Notary Services. Whether it's affidavits, real estate documents, business agreements, or binding marriage certificates, you sign it, he'll seal it. With a commission in the state of Tennessee, he provides reliable, accurate, and professional notary service. For fast, friendly, and professional service, contact Terry Williams Notary Services today. Call 901-503-0564 or email twilliams7296@gmail.com.
And show your boy some love, man. And Cam, and you got some of these people that you train and all that, man. If they want to get some contract signed, need somebody to look over it and notarize it, man, send them my way.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got a quick question before you answer the why you chose Tennessee over all the other major schools that offered you. Now I was looking back at your high school stats, and I don't know how accurate they are, but from what I was seeing, it seemed like you were a better defensive player than you were an offensive player. Did I see where you had 11 sacks one season?
Yeah, defense was easy though. You ain't doing nothing but chasing. You playing tag. You know what I'm saying? You just coming off the line. You the fastest off the line. You gonna get there the fastest. That was just easy.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So no one. Okay, so when these schools were recruiting you, were they recruiting you saying, "Hey, want you to be a tight end? We might want you to play defense or both, or was it just strictly we want you for a tight end?"
It's a little bit of a blur to me because of the whole position changes over the years. But in the beginning, I want to say it was talks about me being able to play both sides of the ball. Earlier in the recruiting process, I think once Alabama came in and Nick Saban basically told me if I came there, I'm going to play O-line. I think that kind of started. They kind of gave me the boost in my mind and be like, all right, let me figure out what I'm really gonna do. Regardless if a team allow me to play both sides, I need to start figuring out and locking in on what it is I'm really expecting and planning to do in the near future. But I had a couple of schools that were, in the talks when it come to playing offense and defense.
Okay.
Mike,
Yeah,
what
man.
was your thoughts on that? Because I mean,
He know my thoughts. He'll laugh at mine. He know my thoughts. Here, Cam could have averaged 20 sacks, man. I've been told him to put his hand in the dirt, but we had I think Cam, and he won't say this, but that's his guy. But we had a change in offensive coordinator. Cam was offensive tackle now before he became tight end. He's a left tackle. He was All-State at Hamilton as a left tackle. His first year at Central, he was All-State as left tackle. And then we got this guy that came in with this 5 wide and all this foolishness, and Cam fell in love with it because they put him out there in the slide and all that. And so Cam fell in love with it and could catch the ball and block and do all that too. So he felt either way, you know what I'm saying? I was cool, but I just knew if he went on that other side of the ball, he was a beast. You know what I'm saying? Dude was gone. Either way, he was going. He's so athletic. Either way, he could have went either way. But I wanted him on the defense side of the ball.
Well, you know what? The question to you then, Cam, is what would give you more excitement? A quarterback sack or catching a touchdown as a tight end?
I told everybody catching touchdowns. That's what I wanted to do. Everything, and it wasn't as easy as it was. I mean, in high school it was easy, but looking back at it, it wasn't as easy as defense was. I was just more drawn to it. Once I really understood what running routes was, it was like, oh, I got to learn more of this. This is, this fun compared to easy fun. If that makes sense. It's like the technical parts of it intrigued me to want to be better at it, and I already saw that I could do
it. Gotcha. And Daryl, before you go to whatever the next topic is, I know I didn't give you a chance to sit up there and say it, but who was your top 5 recruiting you out of college? I mean, of your list that you before you decided to choose the University of Tennessee, who was your top 5?
All right, it was Tennessee, Alabama, Duke. Tennessee, Alabama, Duke. Memphis was in there. And then I can't remember who that 5th was. You remember that? I can't remember who that.
I think what happened was we had Auburn on there as the 5th one, but we didn't really put no emphasis in Auburn because of what they had. That's why we replaced them with the Memphis visit. But I won't say it was Memphis. I want to say it was Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, Duke, and Memphis is who we had in there for the top 5.
Duke.
Well, Memphis was in there.
I'm just like you, Terry. Duke.
Yeah.
But you understand that Duke had just got Cutcliffe over there, and
Okay.
and Cutcliffe threw to the tight ends all the time.
Makes sense. Okay.
That's what, and the school itself, the brand itself, man, you cannot say, man, Duke football when you talking life. You gotta talk brand too, and that's what I talked to Cam about. It's about the brand too now. It ain't all about catching footballs. What the brand gonna do for you later on in life? You know what I'm saying? And Duke brand, we all see that. You're a Duke fan, Daryl. So, you know what I'm saying? Duke, I mean, we all, my wife, myself, man, my little one, Caleb, we all literally fell in love with Duke, man, when we went down there. But I mean, like you say, you dealing against the big powerhouse schools, and when they coming at you, dog, we probably had this conversation on the show, me and you, about that money and all of that. When them big dogs come, they coming. And so it's tough for somebody like a Memphis to come behind them because they can't really offer nothing. You know what I mean? For these kids. And so to me, but I thought Duke was one of the greatest, man. I'll tell anybody, man, if Duke on your radar, man, you got to at least put them on the radar, go visit and make sure you get all the information about Duke you can, man, because Duke is a great school, man, all the way around, man, for real.
Yeah, that campus, man. That's I was already
unbelievable.
I was a Duke fan when I went to the military anyway, but man, once I got a chance to visit the campus and just walk,
unbelievable.
It's nice.
Unbelievable. To
And
be small as it is.
You gotta think about it too. On the opposite end of how Memphis came in, Duke came in early.
Yeah.
So they came in early. They was like, "Oh, we love you. We want you. This is what we want to do with you. This is what, this is how we think you can fit here. It's a great program." They already started pitching before I really had the bulk of my offers, and that alone gonna make anybody feel like, yeah, I might need to come here.
I ain't never went on no recruiting trips. What they do? They take y'all out to steak dinners and all that type of stuff. They do all that type of big stuff.
Yeah, everything. You have the dinners. You meet all the coaches. You hang out with the players. Players take you out. They local hangout spots after the games and kind of give you a little intro of what the college life like before you get there. Really try to persuade you to go on and commit that day.
Mike, you got your steak, huh? You got your steak, huh, Mike?
A steak, man. You get tired of eating with these people, man. But check this out, though, Tier. It's crazy you say that because it's a difference now with the parents. The kids got one set of things that they do, but the parents now got something totally different. And it's two of them we went to, man. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. That one is Alabama. Miss Terry, she's something else, boy. I ain't lying. Nick Saban, they something else on the recruiting visit, dog. That's why these kids sad. I ain't lying. They take the parents out. He get them over to the house. You on the lake. Man, we in there karaoke, playing dominoes, slapping spades, man, drinking whiskey. Man, it's crazy. I mean, and Nick was the first one that showed us that type of recruiting for the parents. All the rest of them, it was kind of basic. Nick did it and Cutcliffe did it. Both of them showed a great job to the parents. They sold the parents. They were selling the parents as opposed to, just everybody selling the kid. They sold the parents too. So there's a lot of things that we talk about Nick Saban on, but man, here and Cam will tell you this, man. Nick did things totally different. And if you really knew how Nick ran his program, you'll understand why he got all them championships, man. For real. Nick a different character, man. He's a different dude. And he treat them kids and stuff differently too.
Man, we used to always talk about that. A few weeks ago, we was talking about that NIL money, that NIL money. Can you imagine what Cam would have got?
2.5 right now.
Man, with that NIL money.
If Cam would have came out
Mike wouldn't have to work. Mike wouldn't have to work another day in his life. And the missus, and the mother, and Mrs. Clear.
Well, the beauty of it, we got a chance to experience it, Terry, and what I do now, really helps me with these kids, man, talking to these young people, trying to get them to understand the reality of recruiting, how this thing really goes. Because a lot of people talk to them, they ain't never been there. They never sat in the room with Nick. They never they never, you know what I'm saying? They going off what they heard. And that was one of the reasons you said something to Caleb about why did he transfer and all of this. Well, you had coaches selling him on something that you couldn't sell him on. You selling him on Nick Saban saying this, and I'm saying, well, dude, you ain't understanding. He sat in the same room with Cam with Nick Saban talking. So you trying to sell my child something on something he ain't biting on because he know he know what Nick Saban says is gonna take to play at Alabama. So there's a lot of stuff like that. But man, let me tell you, man, it's an awesome feeling, Terry, to have two kids to be able to play major college sports and to be able to be successful the way they turned out. I never doubted. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have obstacles along the way, but I never doubted Cam or Caleb going to that next level. I never doubted it. I always said they were pros. Now, how they gonna be there, how they gonna get there, gonna be determined on how they work and what they do. But they was always pros. They always been around Penny, Chuck, and all them.
What'd you say, Cam?
I said I think that's what cemented it in my head. Well, he used to tell us y'all already pros. So now in my mind, like I said, the mindset shift with the training, that's all just a part of it. Once you get in your mind that, you already there and you just got to get there, it make it a whole lot easier. And I think him constantly, pounding it in our head, me, my cousin Trey, and my brother, it's like y'all been training like pros since middle school. So you have that in the back of your mind. It's like, yeah, nobody out here can't mess with me. I've been
Dad, and you got a chance to meet pro. You grew up with pros. That's what I tell people. That's why I kept saying you was a pro. You around EP every day. You around pinning them every day. You was around them guys. And you knew how pros work. You knew what they were supposed to do. You knew how it was supposed to be. I just had to be the guy to get it out of you. That's all. And I just happened to be your dad. But I mean, I tell people all the time, we get it out of others. They just happen to be my biological son. So I mean, you was a pro. You've been a pro your whole life, man. You're gonna be a pro, you know what I'm saying, regardless of whether I was there or not there. I thought you was gonna be a pro anyway, because you've been around it all your whole life. That's all you know.
Yeah, I think
what you gonna say there?
I think that I was gonna say 1, 2, 3 back to 1, not 1, 2 back. Anyway, the mindset, I think people underestimate the mindset that you have to be a top tier caliber type of player. And even me, I look back at my high school days and I knew I was good, but I didn't have that mindset. I got that mindset once I joined the Marine Corps. Like, I'm the best. Ain't nobody better than me. I don't care what your stats say. I'm the best. Point blank. If I would have had that mentality in high school, I think I would have went a little further. But nonetheless, it is what it is. But after all of this good Nick Saban talk, all of this good Heathcliff talk with Duke and Alabama, how did Tennessee win out?
I probably secretly knew I was going to Tennessee when they first offered. I think I was waiting on that offer. Like when the whole recruiting process started, I think that was the one I was secretly waiting on. I was like, once that one come, I know I'm good. I know, I think I made it, in this journey anyways. I fell in love with the University of Tennessee just really based off it feeling like home. Every time we would go up there, it was just, it felt the closest thing to home. And then the same, on the recruiting tip, all the coaches was all over me. They all wanted me. They all laid out, the future guide for me and saying, this is what we want to do with you. This is how we, the whole player projection thing. But I think I just fell in love with it just naturally. Just growing up, my love for the university grew. And once the offer came, I kind of already had, like, oh, I'm going here. I don't even got to do the rest of the process. Then my daddy set me down. We had to talk. It's like, all right, even though you might know where you want to go, we still need to go through the process.
Okay.
Well, you can't beat Tennessee, man, if you don't know Rocket Top. Please tell me you know Rocket Top. So, do you know Rocket Top? Can you recite Rocket Top?
They gonna play it 1,000 times.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. We went up there for a basketball tournament when I was in high school, so we got a chance to play at the basketball stadium or whatever. I
Was
love
it Stokely then or it wasn't Thompson Bowling? I think that was Stokely. Stokely,
yeah,
y'all played
that
in,
was
yeah.
back in 80. That was
Yeah,
80.
that was Stokely. I don't even think they had Thompson Bowling
Yeah.
built then.
But it was nice. And I was like, I always wanted to either go to University of Memphis or Tennessee. Tennessee, I'm a big Tennessee Vol football fan. That's my college football team. Now, when you say it feel like home, I'm gonna say this. When I was in the Marine Corps, I wanted to drive through Knoxville coming from North Carolina. And me and my guy, we stopped at a restaurant. We was like, man, let's stop here and get something to eat. And we walked in, and it was like a movie scene. Like the music stopped. It wasn't no noise. It was like dead silence. And one of the waitresses, hostess, or whatever she was, she pointed to a sign, and the sign said, "We reserve the right not to serve anyone." And I ain't been back to Knoxville since then. True story. True story.
I can believe that one.
So as much as I love the football team, I don't know if I would have wanted to visit through there too many more times. But it's different when you're an athlete. They love y'all athletes. They if you play and you do good, they love you. So
I mean, I think with that aspect of it, it went a whole lot of, that with us compared to when I went on my visit at Alabama. You can kind of feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying? That it's prevalent there. You know what I'm saying? Compared to everywhere else I've been.
Well,
go ahead, Cam.
No, I was just saying on that tip, it wasn't a whole lot of really much discrimination at all for athletes.
Right.
You was like,
I had a bad experience. I had a bad experience in Alabama as well. And we were going through there, me and 3 friends, and we stopped at this little rake-a-dake little store, looked like it's made of wood, and we walked in, and the white man said, "I reckon you lost." I said, huh? He said, I reckon you lost. You know what I told him? I said, I reckon I am. And I got on back out there and got back in the car and told him, let's get the hell out of here. And that's one of the times right in Alabama.
Terry, what you telling?
He said, I reckon you lost. I reckon I am. He had the damn shotgun right behind him on the wall. I said, "Damn, sir." And I got back in the car and I told him, let's get up out of here.
Hey, my partner who I was with, he was from Louisiana, man. He was like, man, we ain't got to leave. No, you ain't got to leave, but I'm out of here.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a quick one. Y'all know Tennessee and Alabama. I'm gonna give you a quick one right quick. So Cam had to go JUCO and then he got re-recruited. So Cam called me. They talking about we gotta go visit Oklahoma, right? So we take him down to Oklahoma. We drop him off, go to the hotel. Now, mind you, I done been on numerous visits with Cam officially. Man, dude told me, man, where your credit card at? I said, what you mean? What? You got to put a credit card to get the room. I said, no, he on official visit. Dude said, man, I don't care what he on, man. You got to put a credit card down here to get this room. So I called Coach. I hear Coach up. I'm like, Coach, man, I thought you said this was official visit. So he sent somebody over there. Them folks looked at us so crazy for 2 days. Man left the man on his visit. On honest God truth. That's a true story. My wife and I got up the next morning and left. We got up, man. I'm not taking this no more, man. If Cam go to Oklahoma, he probably won't ever see his dad at a game. Man, that was the most racist place I have ever been in my life was Norman, Oklahoma.
Oh,
man,
wow.
I don't know how the athletes get around over there, but man, we felt so uncomfortable, man.
Well, like you just said, they athletes, if you
produce,
different. They love you. If you produce and they love you.
That was a hell of an experience there, though. Man, I ain't lying.
Now let's fast forward a little bit since you just hit on the Texas A&M and re-recruiting. You had a slight hiccup at Tennessee and you moved to the JUCO route and you did great there. You came back to Texas A&M. Did you still were you still in that mindset of I'm a great player, I'm gonna make the NFL. I'm gonna attain all my dreams. What was your mindset going through that whole process?
How do I not be stupid? Everything else was still the same. The mindset, it was laser focus with the off the field distractions. You know, as a college athlete, you one of the most popular kids on the campus, so them gonna be around. But I think that was my thing. Just all right. Who do I not need to be around? What do I not need to do to mess it up again? It was more along the lines of damage prevention than anything else, because my mindset was already cemented. It's been, you know, it's still the same way now. I'm actually starting to look at myself like, hey, I think I'm getting old. I can't just get up and go run 20, 30 stairs like I used to, no, despite how I feel. But I mean, that's all it was for me. Just staying laser focused, trying not to get in the wrong crowds, get mixed up in the wrong stuff. But I still knew that, I was different than most of the players, my teammates.
So, like, I never went to college as an athlete or anything like that, so I don't know. So I'm kind of asking this question. But you see it all the time, and we never really talk about it. Like as an athlete, and I'm sure you was well-known athlete on Tennessee campus, the junior college campus, and Texas A&M. Now we talk about Travis Hunter and his now wife, which I'm glad they got married and cemented that, and I hope they last. Did you ever feel not pressure, but I mean, being an athlete, you kind of had the pick of the crop. You could kind of choose who you wanted to be with. Did it ever become a distraction or a problem with you?
Not necessarily. I mean, if it became a distraction or a problem, it's because I let it. It wasn't overbearing. It wasn't none that I couldn't handle. It was just, like I said, different situations here and there, just making the right decision in the moment. But as far as, having a pick of the litter and everybody fly, it's easier to weed out, when that ain't your primary focus, I guess.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to be a man. You're going to be a guy. You're going to get it in when you can. But at the same time, it's like, it was cool, but I'm on something else for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mike, was that in? I'm sure, as a father, I'm sure you had those conversations before he even left to go to college. Those things to look out for. Because I think, like with me, I had my first child. I was in high school, and it I ain't gonna say I don't regret it, but it did limit my choices on what I had to do moving forward. So my biggest thing was always, I told my kids, I don't care when you have kids, just don't have them while you're in high school. So did you have those type of conversations with Cam and Caleb as far as just protecting yourself?
Honestly, I have them with all the athletes, especially them two. But I have them with all the athletes because of what we've seen, what we've gone through, what we know. And it's kind of go back to the Travis Hunter thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna have their opinion, but at the end of the day, those young people gonna have to make up their mind, and they gonna be the one that have to deal with it. Is he stupid for not signing a prenup? Blah blah blah. I mean, that's a debate for all of us on the outside. But when you're talking to a 20, 21, 22-year-old who had the world on his shoulder, everything is there. I mean, I don't know. I know from my point of view, as being old as I am now, I think it's stupid what he's doing, but that's my opinion because I'm much more mature and I understand that. But you talking about a guy, man, that got the whole Jacksonville on his back. So I think all kids, even when we were in high school, that was a problem. Y'all know that was a problem even when we were in high school. You just got to be disciplined enough to try to focus and stay the course. I think that's why EP did. He did his thing, but I mean, you just have to stay laser focused, and you got to have a good supporting system.
But
the support system is everything.
But you know what? It ain't you, man. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall with Mrs. Clear talking to Caleb and Cam about them potential Jezebels and them women.
What
and
the hell you talking about? I'd love to be a fly on the wall on that.
Man, I could hear some of them conversations, man. I'm like, I can hear it. And Cam, I see you smiling, so I'm sure you got some of them conversations.
A little bit. My mama wasn't really just, hanging her hat on there because my daddy was already on it. So she'll just come in, put her 2 cents in, like, remember your daddy said this, don't let it happen to you, woo, just backing them.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't really have to have, she didn't really have to get them talks as often as you would think.
Okay.
Now, her thing, Terry, was you need to talk to him about so-and-so. And my thing used to always be, do you know that man be in the car with me 24/7? I drop him off at school, I pick him up, I do this, I do that. That man in the car with me. What you think? We just driving around the streets and we don't talk about nothing? So, yeah, those conversations come up all the time in the car. That's why he told you, we don't never stop coaching, Terry. After the game, we in the car. It could have been something that I saw. It could have been something that, hey, man, we got to watch this. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, if you don't watch this, dude, we through. You know what I'm saying? Everything go down the drain. So it's just constantly, for me, I think my wife got off a little easier because I was always hands-on 100% with Cam them. And I'll tell her, look, we finna discuss this about dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about, him and sex and this, that, and another. This was 10th, 11th grade. And so, of course, mothers don't want to hear about their kid around here doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't think my wife she'll say what she got to say when she got to say it. Let me put it that way. But other than that, I thank her all the time because she give me 100% with them two. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no problem with whatever I had to do with raising Cam them because she stayed out of it. So it was easy for me to develop my kids how I wanted them to be because she stayed out of it. She wasn't never. Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes to the little board, now Cam never play you. Don't get it twisted. Now they want that Xbox. They ain't coming to me. They gonna go to her. You know what I'm saying? They want them Jordans. They ain't coming to me. They gonna go to her. But other than that little stuff,
so you got to play on them emotions. She gonna have emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, me trying to get her to understand Cam them playing on you. They know why you think Cam didn't come to me and ask me that question. So, but to you there, I mean, for me and for my wife, I thought we were great as a team, bringing them up as a team. And I tell people that all the time. My wife just supported whether good or bad, she just supported it. You know what I'm saying? She was an athlete, which made it better. She understood where I was going with a lot of it because she was an athlete. She was a big time. She was a D1 athlete, so she knew. So for me, it was easy for my two. I ain't gonna lie. It was a lot easier. I didn't have to come home and hear all the nagging that I get from parents now. I got a young man now, all pro guy, just got a jersey, retired. Man, in my gym 24/7. But if y'all see what he doing to Lil Dre, his son, versus what I did to Cam, man, y'all will be tripping. And y'all be like, this dude all pro. This dude done been to the high level. This dude done played 12 years in the league. I never treated Cam them like that. And I had to tell him, I was on him. What Caleb tell you last week, Daryl? My dad gonna push you to the edge, but he ain't gonna push you over.
Right.
I think a lot of parents nowadays, they pushing kids over the edge. They're not giving the kid a chance to grow a little bit. So for me, Terry, my wife stayed out of it. It was a team effort. When she needed to say something, she said it. And then when she and I got together, most of the time, I'm letting her know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And for her to understand, you got to back me because if not, we just going to have two kids playing us. And so for me, it was easy though.
Okay.
What up, there? I see you laughing.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got my little saying up here. Listen more, say less. But anyway, I think our third interview needs to be with Miss Clear. We need to bring her on and get her perspective of everything, and then we could follow that up with you, your wife, Cam, and Caleb on here. I think that'll be a good follow up to all of that, and then we'll move on to the Doc Hollidays, the Elliot Perrys, the Tony Allens, the whoever else you can get on here for us. But we're gonna take another.
We work.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna take another quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll hit on your professional career, and then we'll kind of talk about what you got going on right now. So hold on.
When it comes to buying or selling real estate, the right agent can make all the difference. Choosing the right partner means less stress, smarter decisions, and a better outcome. Here are 5 reasons why Tanya is the professional you can trust to guide you through your real estate journey. Local expertise you can count on. Personalized approach, proven track record of success, cutting-edge marketing strategies, and dedicated support every step of the way. Real estate transactions can be complex, but she is here to guide you through every detail, from the first consultation to the closing table. Tanya can provide clear communication, expert advice, and unwavering support to ensure your success. Ready to take the next step? Let's make that real estate goal a reality. Call her today at 901-870-5337 to schedule a consultation.
Tanya Covington, Treadwell High, class of 1988. She is our home girl. You got any housing needs, buying, selling, contact her. She is licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi, and you can reach her at 901-870-5337. Terry, I can't put the whole thing up, but put that up for him.
Oh, okay. Well, as always, we love doing what we do. As you see, we got several platforms. We ask that you go like, share, and subscribe to our page. You go to subscribe and you hit that notification bell, and you hit that bell again, and select all, where you'll get all of our platforms out there. And for those that got your little cell phone handy, if you look right up in the upper right hand corner of my picture, you'll see a little QR code. You can scan your phone and use the phone to scan that, and it'll take you right to the page so you can subscribe. And as always, we ask you to share to 5 people. We only say 5. If you want to do more, you can do more, but we want to keep this thing going and build this platform. We're building it, growing week by week, and we're looking to continue to build.
I'll try to provide a link where they can link it in the not comment section, but whatever that section is, they can do. I'll try to put a link in there. Okay, Cam, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Still here.
Like you breaking up a little bit. Okay. I know it had to be very emotional to finally make it to the NFL, and I know it had to be extra special for your dad, for the team that you signed with, to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, out of all the teams, you ended up with the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I know that made him happy and proud. What was that moment like for you when you finally made that leap to fulfill your dreams?
It felt like I wasn't done. That's really that's the primary feeling I had. It was like, I didn't even get drafted. When I got a call, priority free agent or priority undrafted free agent. It was more so like, all right, I got something to prove. Despite whatever reason teams overlooked me, I just felt like at this time, I felt like, all right, now this the real test, the chip on my shoulder for all the years where I felt like nobody couldn't see me on the field. Like, this the real test now. So I think going into this part of my journey was the most influential part of me developing into a man, separating from my parents. I think that was the most influential time of my life. But I just felt like I had a chip on my shoulder. I had to keep grinding, and had something to prove.
Okay, so I don't really like dwelling on negative stuff, but I'm gonna ask this question: do you think the incident at Tennessee had anything to do with it?
Of course, Of course.
But I think to me now, this is just me. I think you reestablish yourself, and I think kids make mistakes. You was a kid. You was out of high school. You was in college. Still a kid.
Right.
And I think you reestablish yourself by going the JUCO route. Came back Texas A&M. And I think the past should have been in the past, and of course it's gonna always be there, but I don't think people should hold something that a freshman did over their head their whole career.
All right.
So
With that, you gotta factor in this thing called analytics. Now, I could be the highest ranked recruit coming out going into the draft. I could be, have the best stats. So could this other player. Now we have to look at the numbers. Who got, who did what here versus what this other person did at this other school on the field and off the field. On the field, we neck and neck. Off the field, it's like this guy has never got in trouble. So how can I, as a personnel guy, overlook this guy to say, we like Cam Clear better, but this guy got the same similar background, but no hiccups. So I don't think that the incident in Tennessee was the primary reason that I fell off the board or didn't get drafted or I wanted to, but it definitely played a part in it.
Okay. I feel exactly what you're saying. It's kind of like when you got two equals, then you got to try to find where can we find a negative to push one over the top. So yeah, I get that.
You have to be that way because at the end of the day, we gambling. We taking risk on players who we really don't know besides the background that we did. We don't know nothing about Cam Clear versus Jesse James. All we know is what we could gather on them. We got to go based off of that because it's the facts.
Well, you had to be doing something right. Then you get a invite to the combine.
Yeah, got the combine invite.
Yeah, see, that's why I was like, man, they thought enough of him. He was good enough that they at least wanted to get some more information from the combine. So that's why I was like, they're entitled to make their own decisions or whatever. We understand that part, but I just like the redemption role. But ultimately you made it. So at that point, you said it was more like I got some unfinished business to take care of. So it kind of put a chip on your shoulder, I'm sure.
For sure.
So how did that turn out? How did that go?
Day one, I went into rookie mini camp with the Steelers. I killed everybody. Talking about all the rookies and the form or the second year guys had to participate in rookie mini camp. I'm killing all of them. Like it's like normal. Like can't nobody out here mess with me either, And at that point, I'm really laser focused because I know what's in front of me because it's so much closer. You know what I'm saying?
Do you kind of get the not big head, but I mean, because I know you said in high school it was just easy. You just dominated. You just came in and dominated. I'm sure you did the same thing at Tennessee. I'm sure you did the same thing. I know you did it at JUCO, and I'm sure you did the same thing at Texas A&M. So now you get on the biggest level that there is, and you come in from day one and you dominating. Do it kind of get your head like, yeah, I got this.
I mean, you don't really get the big head. It's just confidence. I've been training this way my whole life. Like I said, my dad had been telling me I'm a pro. So now I'm trying to figure out why I ain't the draft pick pro. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now I got to prove why I was supposed to be the draft pick pro versus just the pro guy. So that was rookie minicamp. And then shortly after that, we had OTAs where the vets come in, and now everybody is together. Now I'm looking at it like, all right, this is the real chip on my shoulder. Now I really got a point to prove because these coaches done pulled me pulled me to the side from all the other rookies. I'm thinking I'm about to get cut. They telling me, how much potential I got. So now taking that, going into OTAs, not rookie minicamp, going into OTAs with that on my mind, chip still on my shoulder. Now, this is my opportunity to show what I got in reps versus Ryan Shazier, versus Debo, versus Will Gay, and quad is kept. Not to be cocky, but I'm giving it to them too. So me being me, I'm like, all right. These are real pro guys. They different from the rookies we was just in rookie minicamp with, and I'm still battling neck and neck with these guys who are established vets in the league. So now I'm knowing, like, all right, I belong here. And my focus from that point is I'm at this point, I'm tuning out everything. I'm tuning out my daddy, tuning out my agent, I'm tuning out my girl, I'm tuning out literally everything so that I can prove this point to myself, that I belong here.
Now, at this point, Mike, I'm sure you're all the way backed up and hands off at this point. So first, I know you were proud for him to sign with a team, but for it to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, how did that make you feel? I mean, what was going through your mind? Season ticket.
You know what, Darryl? Really, man, I could never get over the shock that that's who was the first one to call it. I always looked at the situation that I was looking at where Cam needed to go versus who he needed to go to. And when he got the call from the Steelers at that particular time, it fit what he was trying, what he was. Big body, big tight end. They throw to the tight end a lot. You know what I'm saying? They could use him. Was as far as my feelings when he got drafted by, I mean, come on, man, that'd be like Terry's son getting drafted by the Cowboys. I mean, everybody's gonna be super excited because that's your team you always rooted for. You're gonna be super excited for that. So I was super excited for it. But my focus was trying to really, man, I know it sounds hard to believe. When it comes to Cam now, my focus be laser focused on trying to make sure they understand what they're in. So I didn't get a chance to really bash in it because I'm constantly trying to, man, dude, we ain't made it yet. You know what I'm saying? That was always my mindset, man. You ain't made it yet. Even though you there, we ain't made it yet. We ain't made it yet. So I don't know. I was happy, but then I was still in dad mode, trying to coach. I mean, trying to mentor and trying to coach, man. That's about as best I could probably sum that answer up. I was happy. Of course, it's my team. Now I tell you what, a lot of my partners that are Pittsburgh Steelers now, they were super overwhelmed. Right. But I just never got into it from that standpoint with Cam because it was more business. If that made sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, right. Had he stuck and made it for 2, 3, 4 years, I'd be flipping my wig around here trying to go to games and all that. But when he first got in, man, that, especially like when we knew how he got in, the Pittsburgh called him, man, you got to go work. You got to earn this now. It's not a draft pick. Like, you got to go in here and earn this. And, yeah, it's a good spot for you, but you got to earn it. So I was excited about him going to Pittsburgh, but I was more excited because he had an opportunity to really make that team.
Well, I'm kind of looking at it like Dion and Shador to a certain degree.
Similar.
Whereas, part of the problem that I think Shador and Dion ran into was the owners, the general managers, and all of that felt like Dion probably was sticking his nose too far into Shador's career, his business, right. And and Shador was like you were saying, Cam, he was just confident. It wasn't, some people perceive it as cocky or big-headed, like I described it. But when you good, you just good. When you know it, you just know it. And some people can't handle that. So, not saying that it would have went any different if Dion didn't have any say-so or whatever, but I think by him, like you really hadn't heard Dion since he got drafted by Cleveland. He's really kind of been low-key, not really saying anything. I'm sure he's proud that it's both his sons, in the NFL. So when I look at the situation that y'all were in, I look at it as being kind of similar. Cam had all the accolades in high school, college, and then you don't get drafted, but then you get picked up by a team. you know, dad always been there on the sidelines and all of that. And now, you know, you know, at some point you say, okay, now you there, son. It's on you now. So, you know, I applaud both of y'all, you know, for being able to make it that far. And uh as me and Terry have seen, you raised two great young men. They're very respectable. You can tell that, you know, intelligent. You know, we already said that came from the mom side. You know, it's a blessing, you know, to have, you know, to have had that journey with your kids, I would say, Mike.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, I look at it now with all the kids that we train coming from single parents, mothers trying to do the best they can. They don't really know the lay of the land. So they trusting in it and everybody with their child. I could never see that with my two boys, man. I couldn't trust my two boys with just anyone. So yeah, man, the journey to be able to, and I talk about it all the time with the parents, man, you know, just to be able to see my kids go through, you know, be able to walk across that stage, get their degrees, be able to go on professionally and do what they do. Yeah, that was, man, those are proud moments. You know what I'm saying? And been there every step of the way. Proud moments. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I absolutely am grateful that you know they took the teaching, because once again I'm gonna keep saying this, they didn't have to do that. Many kids don't really listen at their parents like that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't have to do it. So my hats off to Cam and Caleb. I tell people that all the time. It's them. I just had the knowledge and the wherewithal to put them in a situation to get there, but it was them, man. They did all the work, man. It wasn't me.
Right. Terry, you need to go.
Yeah, my son set up that call and tell me it's emergency. So
Okay.
see what's going on.
All right. Well, we'll finish this out, and you go ahead and take care of your business.
Okay, good meeting you, Cam, and hopefully you get a chance to you know come back on here and do stuff with us. But make sure that y'all ask him, because I want to see in the interview what's going on with Cam now. You
Yeah.
married, some of that type of stuff, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. And congrats on everything.
Appreciate you. Nice to
All
meet
right.
you.
T will be good, dog.
All right.
Yeah. Now I can put up my
Boy, you crazy.
I can put up my other banner now where we got the like and subscribe.
Okay. Oh, you had too many on there?
Yeah, I had too many on there. I couldn't put it up there now, so now they can see it. But yeah, I had, before you get into you know what you're doing now, what you got going on right now. I asked everybody this: if it was one thing you could go back and change, what would it be?
Go back and change. I probably wouldn't change nothing. I think, you know, I try to do a lot more reflecting than I used to. And looking back, I think that the biggest thing that I would not change, but maybe do a little different, is be more present. My wife reminds me every day how far I really made it. But to me, it's like, you know, it's not that amazing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't,
Oh,
you know, that big.
Oh, it is amazing, man.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing for me. I probably would, you know, just try to be more present, try to enjoy the moment, enjoy the journeys. Because being streamlined, like having a laser focus, can deter you from feeling and embracing and enjoying where you are in the present day, because you're so locked in on the end goal.
right.
I think that's probably the only thing I would, you know, try to do different or change. Because like I told you in the beginning, a lot of my memories are blurry from this part of my life because it was happening so fast.
Right.
Like it happened really like almost overnight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to soak in everything coming from every different direction and still trying to be a teenage kid pursuing the dream, you know, but now you got to attach the fame and notoriety and all that on it. It's hard to just be in the moment.
Right. I got you. Makes sense. Uh, good answer too. That's a good answer. Uh, what do you got going on now? Mike was telling me a little bit about it, but he delve too far into it. So what does Cameron Clear have going on right now?
Well, I own a couple of businesses. My first one I started up right around the pandemic, towards the end of the pandemic, where we selling herbs. I get herbs imported all from across the whole world, from their land of origin, and they just support, you know, different organs in your body and helping you detox and the whole nine. So I got that company. We primarily online. I got a little storefront where people can come pick up, you know, locally, just a little grab and go. I've had that for about 3 years now, that shop, that store company. And then we just recently created a youth 7-on-7 training organization where we basically give everything that we've acquired over our careers and give it back to the kids and kind of help them get on the right path of, you know, if this is a dream of theirs, becoming a D1 athlete or becoming a professional athlete, you know what I'm saying? And we do that. We train them. We play 7-on-7 competitive circuit, you know, national circuit. We take them and play against guys that come in from all across the United States, some of the top athletes. So those are the two primary, you know, business ventures that take up majority of my time outside of my kids. You know, I got quite a few kids. They keep me busy.
You should have sent me the link. I could have put your link up here
I
for your
just about
store.
to say that. I was just
What's
about to
that?
tell him to put the link out there so we can share it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people in Memphis, they down on this sea moss and all of that. So I mean, we got a lot of people that look out here that looking to buy and changing their lifestyle. So this could help them tremendously.
Yeah,
So the
so
CMOS do work, right?
if you allow it to work,
See,
yeah, you got it's a little part on you. You got to be consistent. You got to be hydrating like normal. You know, basic care.
okay.
Basic
You just killed Daryl and Tia.
Yeah,
You said the wrong word. You had to be disciplined at that. So you killed them. Now this one over here, Daryl, I can possibly vouch for. I can stay on him, but that other he ain't finna take no C-Mount. He might.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't know how disciplined I am, though. You talking about some hydrating.
Oh yeah,
Diet Dr. Pepper, that's my hydration.
yeah. Well, yeah, that ain't nothing but just trying to keep people informed on really how you can heal yourself. I really I got on that because I was trying to lose weight, going into the XFL. I was 320, 310, 315, trying to start back playing football again after I set it down a little while. And, you know, I could give you every way to lose weight. That's the unhealthy way because I done tried it.
Right.
You know, I done fasted. You know, nothing crazy, but, you know, I'm in the sauna 2-3 hours a day, in and out. I'm not eating, drinking only water fast. You know, I take a laxative before I weigh in just so I know I ain't got nothing heavy on me. After trying all the you know, quick fixes,
Gadgets.
yeah, you know, you realize it really is just it's all it is, a quick fix. And it's what led me to, you know, embracing this lifestyle, eating cleaner, you know, putting the right stuff in your body and just really knowing what you can and can't do that's going to either help or hurt you. So that's how that company came about. You know, I want to be a resource to people, you know, that look like us that I know they don't know where to start when it comes to, you know, really detoxing for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's I done grew a little passion behind that, you know, especially being able to experience some of the customers that's been shopping with me over the last 3 years, seeing them go through their changes individually, you know, and becoming more disciplined and being healthier, winging off the meds that doctors prescribe them, stuff like that. It just give me more passion into really want to continue to do it.
Oh, well, I might be getting in touch with you because I'm sure trying to get off these little few meds I'm on before.
Well, do you educate them on that, or are you just selling the product and educating them on the product? Or are you educating them on the product and what they need to be doing while taking the product? Let me ask that question.
That's where it started. I start with educating you on the product and how it can help you in your regular everyday life with no change. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we start. Then it's kind of like anything else. You show me you interested, I'm really more liable to give you all my time. If you really trying to do better, get better, my wife will get on to you can't spend this much time on one person, and but if you got that interest and you really trying, I'm gonna give you all I got. The same with the approach I take with training the kids in football. It's like, if you really want all the info I got, I'm gonna give it all to you as long as you can absorb it. So that's how I normally start off, inform them on the products. And then what really is the twist to it is they'll get on it, they'll see changes, they'll go to their doctor, let their doctor know what they've been taking. And the doctor's like, no, doctors ain't taking them off of it. They like, well, we can't recommend this type of stuff to you, but if it's working, you might want to start slowly backing off the meds, just so, because it's not needed as much.
Right.
And and from there I just, relationships get built, and I kind of create a profile with them where I kind of keep up with everything they got going on. I had to learn how to read blood work and everything just on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I can sit you down and go over the blood work with you and explain to you like, oh, this means this. This is, this is straight liver work. This is straight, adrenal glands. This is straight, kidney. What's going on with your kidney. So it's basic. None of it really rocket science. It's just you got to start somewhere, and just like anything else is, it ain't.
Send me the link, and I'm gonna add it to this video when I put it out, because we want to try to help you in any way that we can. I know you're talking about the 7-on-7, the training that you're involved in too, that you're passionate about. Do you ever run into maybe a parent where you're like, you can just keep your child at home, or
That's every day.
For real?
I'm about to say that's every day there.
I'm talking about multiple times a day. It's like, these kids,
is it the kid or is it the parent?
Combination of both, really. I also think it's hard for me to really, I've been trying to put my finger on it for the last year and a half, 2 years. And it could be because the way we was brought up and how we was trained and what we was around, I just can't see no other way. But I'm not understanding the disconnect with the sport and being overprivileged, to where it's hindering you from getting better.
I was about to say, I don't know, y'all. You and Mike been doing it, so y'all. I'm gonna trust y'all. I was about to say, like, I mean, like, I know kids these days. I know they don't have what we had. I know that.
Right.
Coach Curry's, the Coach Bivens. That's my middle school coach.
Yeah, my boy Bivens.
Yeah, Coach Bivens, man. Hey, can you get in touch with him?
I think I can.
I need to get in touch with Coach Bivens. I ain't talked to him in a minute, but anyway,
I can run him down.
Yeah, run him down for me, man. Like in the Marine Corps, it was always in our mind, it never was a bad Marine. You might not be the best Marine, but you a Marine.
Yeah.
That type of mentality, because when you in battle, everybody not the same. So you gonna have your top tier, your lower tier, and all of this. So I was just wondering, like, in training, do you just well, y'all say y'all get rid of them. So I was thinking you just kind of let them hang on. Like, if it's, I don't know. I don't even, if y'all even understand the question I'm asking.
I get what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying. I'm still early in my training career, transition. I'm letting them hang on, but I'm showing them that this is not the way for it to get done. It's not, you know. And I'm speaking from experience with my 14U kids, where all these other 14U kids across the country not taking this for play no more. It's not just to have fun no more. So if you really pursuing a career in this game at this age, it's time to like go on, figure out what's gonna flip the switch for you. And I think that playing on the circuit that we play on helps me with their process, because these parents starting to see like, they take this a little too serious. Like they for real out here. And you know, that helps me navigate it a little bit, it back me up. Like, see, I'm trying to tell y'all, you know, I ain't trying to be hard on them, but it's an expectation. It's a big pool of kids out here where they got different driving factors that's gonna, you know, push them to their career faster.
Yeah, because I know you told me, Mike, you had a conversation with the parents before you even take on the child, and sometimes you just have to tell them this might not be the best path.
Yeah. There, you know, with me, that's 30 years of experience, though. I mean, with Cam, that's a little different. You know, it's kind of hard for him to do that with me because of my background, and probably 80% of my kids come to me came from referral from other kids that I've trained in the past.
Right.
So everybody knows how I work.
They know
what I expect. You know, so when I interview parents come to train with me, is he serious or what? You know what I'm saying? And if I hear too much parent than the kid, I'm probably gonna tell them, now y'all probably need to go train with so-and-so, because it probably ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I talk, how I push you, what I'm gonna do, don't align with what you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't knock what they do. I just stick to, I told you this, Daryl, 100 times. I just stay in my lane. It worked for Cam and Caleb. It worked for the 1,000 other kids I've had. And my wife used to say something all the time. She done stopped saying it now. She used to say, well, man, you use so much language and stuff to these kids, man, and it's crazy. You just really beating these kids up. I said, I'm going to ask you one question. Out of all those kids that I supposed to been them beat up or did whatever you saying, how many of them done left me 30 years later? How many of them keep calling? How many parents keep calling? How many? None of my kids leave me saying, man, what they gonna say is, man, coach, he crazy, but man, he love everybody. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand where we trying to go. And my thing is, man, I got a thing I teach the kids all the time, man. What's your why? Why are we doing this? So if you can't tell me why you want to train, I don't want to train you, because you have no goal or destination on where you trying to go. If you kept hearing Cam talk, everything in his mouth was, I knew where I was going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was instilled in him when he was little. Man, you're a pro. Man, you're a pro. If we going to do this, you're a pro. You're going to always be a pro. That's the only way you can think to get to be a pro, if that makes sense. So with my kids, I don't have that problem because of the experience, all the things I've learned from Cam, them coming up, Caleb, all the other kids I've trained. So I know what buttons to push. I know what kids to bag up off of. I know what parents to talk to. I know what parents to kick out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't really have that problem because Cam them still new. But what I am doing is mentoring them on how to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's where I am now. I'm mentoring other trainers like, look, man, I understand you want that money, but all money ain't good money.
Right.
See, because they gonna keep coming in here doing what they doing, that's costing you 3 more clients coming in this door. Because if they see him acting a fool, they ain't coming in there. If he don't want to halfway work, if he don't want to do this, they ain't gonna want to be there. So, you know, I nip it in the bud early. So I just gotta, you know, man, I'm blessed, man, to be around a lot of great people. EP, all them guys that went pro. I was able to go with them, you know what I'm saying, watch them train, look at what was going on, and I was able to bring all that back to Memphis and work with our kids. So I tell people all the time, it's not a coincidence that Cam and Caleb made it to where they made it to. And they go, well, man, you did this. I go, well, they 6 years apart. You see what I'm saying? It's not like they right there together. They 6 years apart. So, I mean, they totally different people. When Cam left, Caleb was by himself. But Caleb watched Cam. So that was the beauty for me. Caleb watched everything Cam did, the good, the bad. He went through it all with Cam. So when he got to it, it was second nature. And so my coaching changed because I didn't have to do as much with him. And that's probably why they always like, man, Cam, you ain't do all that. Well, hell, Cam was the firstborn. I don't know. At that time, though, I didn't know, like, all I knew was Coach Curry and them style. I didn't know there were other styles out here.
Right.
And that's what he is. He don't know there's other styles out here. He just know, man, we do this way. But the problem is when you playing with people, let's just say fortunate, privileged kids, when you got their kids, their parents think their money control what's going on. That's the problem that you have. Because they got the money. So they feel they can buy you, or they can buy their kid time on, or they can buy their kid to train this, that, and another. They feel that way. So I just feel that, that's what it is.
Well, it's different styles. And I mean,
It is.
I hear about other coaches that, they might not be as vocal, they might not be, but it still come down to discipline. You got to have that discipline. So even if they ain't yelling and all of this, they putting some discipline on you to get you in line. These kids ain't just falling in line on their own because they want to. So I say, hey, Coach Curry's plan worked for me. It worked for you. Keep doing it.
Yeah, man, it work for Cal, work for Caleb, it don't work for Chuck, it don't work for all of them.
Work for
Chris,
all.
we can go on down the list. And I don't think he get enough credit there. We got to do a show on Coach because I don't think they realize how many people Coach done impacted at our school that went on and became great college players. They didn't, all of them didn't go to the league.
Oh yeah, all of them. Yeah, but
but hell, he put 3 in the league. 4.
He put, exactly, and
so I mean, he got his share.
some more. Yeah, so but some people, they I ain't gonna get started today, but
on to the next question. I get it.
No.
Believe that you see I ain't got the hat on today.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. I'm glad.
You see I didn't put the hat on today, so yeah, I know where you were going.
Yeah. But great interview. I appreciate you taking the time out to join us, Cam. I really enjoyed you and Caleb. Both interviews went exceptionally well. You guys, you guys almost like y'all had a script and y'all just followed the script. Y'all had the right answers for everything, and I really appreciate you. Just taking the time to help us out with our show. So make sure you let everybody know to check the show out when it come out. I'll send you the link and all of that. And hey, it was great having you on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely gonna bring you back on, son. We just gotta, we want to make sure that the kids understand my thing for bringing you guys on. This is me and Daryl thing. I think of bringing you guys on is because, man, people need to know your journey. And people know Cam clear, but they really don't know your journey. They know what they read, or if they came up with us, they know the little bit that it still was on the outside looking in. So, I mean, you guys, like I say, you and Caleb come out of the same household, you end up somewhere similar. That's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? And people need to know that. And I didn't know how streaming, podcasts, and all of that affects these kids, man. These kids watching this, and they want to hear y'all. You know what I'm saying? They hear about y'all. They want to hear y'all. They really don't want to hear us as much as they want to hear y'all. And so, yeah, we're definitely going to bring you back on the show. Be other topics, like we talked about Shador and his dad and some other stuff. We got other topics we'll talk about. So we appreciate you being on. I appreciate Darren allowing us to start our sports show off with you too. That's crazy, man. That happened like that.
You know who I am, Clear. It's all about family, man. We all family. We Treadwell family, Meager Street, Duncan Street, Tupelo, Stage,
yep.
Hollywood. We all family. So whatever I can do to help anybody that I grew up with and their kids, I look at their kids as my kids, so it's all love with me, man. So Appreciate it. We're gonna get the wife on next time though, for real. I'm gonna see.
Well, you didn't tell me. We can get on. We can get on with all three of them. It's just, they.
I told
One
you.
thing about my family, Daryl. One thing about my family. A lot of people talk and joke and all that, but we've been transparent, and open. You know what I'm saying, all the time. You know what I'm saying. My wife's probably just as crazy as I am. We've been transparent all the time. So.
I told you she scared me one day, right?
Oh wow, she riffing.
Yeah, man. Look, she gave me a look like, and I was like, okay, maybe you did miss the call.
you must have told her about a call or something.
No, man. I just, you know how when you think if your child got filed or something, and and ain't no call, and you like, damn, how you missed that? And man, she
Esther came in.
Man, I'm talking about she did it so smooth for her. I ain't say nothing else the rest of the game. Good game, ref. That was before I knew. I ain't know she was your wife at that time, and then I found out later on that was your wife. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I've been knowing her. She a great referee.
Yeah, there you go. You change script. You want all the calls.
Yeah,
I'm changing all. Oh man, I had your husband jersey when he was in high school. You went all there.
Oh yeah. That's and I ain't get a chance to tell you, Cam, but one of the reasons why I did go to Treadwell was because of Mike. And when I got there, I happened because I wore 14 in middle school. So I was like, oh, 14 available? Oh, yeah, give me that. And he made sure to let me know, hey, don't know anybody wear number 14. So if you're gonna wear number 14, you got to represent. So it just, I already knew I was gonna come in and do my best, but that just, working out with him over this summer and all of it just made me that much more hungrier and made me definitely a better player. So he had an impact on my life as well. So
we just try to do what we do, man. We just try to do what we do.
But anyway, another great show. Like I said, Cam, appreciate you coming on. We definitely gonna have you back again. But unless y'all got anything else, we're out of here.
Hey man, appreciate it, man. We out.
Cam, you were in the clutch.